This season in Detroit isn't a surprise anymore. It's a statement. The Pistons have arrived, and their rise is forcing every opponent to rethink their game plan. At the center of that whirlwind are two stars who refuse to be overlooked, Cade Cunningham and Jalen Duren. Together, they've reshaped a franchise that many had written off, turning a rebuilding project into an immediate title conversation. For context, Detroit sits atop the Eastern Conference, riding the league's longest winning streak, and doing it while missing pieces others would call indispensable. That kind of sustained success isn't an accident. It's the product of smart play, relentless defense, and a pair of frontrunners who make this team hard to beat. Cade is the engine, and Duren is the boulder behind it. Rewind to 2023, and this narrative looked impossible. That year, the Pistons endured one of the darkest stretches in modern NBA history. A run so rough it became a defining moment for the organization. Fans questioned the direction, pundits mocked their trajectory, and optimism felt scarce. But growth rarely happens in a straight line. The same core that once lost 28 straight learned, adapted, and committed to getting better. The result was one of the most dramatic turnarounds in the league, a massive leap in wins, a playoff return, and now a team at the top of the East. What's striking about this squad is how it wins. Detroit isn't built on flashy shooting numbers or an all-time offense. On paper, they aren't elite in raw scoring or three-point volume. They rank modestly in field goal percentage and aren't the deepest shot-making crew. But their control of the game is what sets them apart. They dominate possessions, dictate pace, and make life miserable for foes. Defensively, they've transformed. Opponents are taking worse shots, getting fewer second chances, and finishing at a lower clip around the rim. Detroit's rotations are crisp, help defenses aggressive without being reckless, and they funnel initial attacks straight to Jalen Duren, who stands ready to finish, contest, or rebound. That presence protects the paint and turns potential scores into empty possessions. On the glass, they're physical and disciplined. Their defensive rebounding ranks near the top of the league, meaning teams don't get extra opportunities to claw back into games. Offensively, they move the ball intelligently, avoid needless dribbling, and create high-quality looks. When teams do manage to run their sets, it's often against an air of disruption. Passes get cut off, baseline drives find dead ends, and the shot clock forces rush decisions. Opponents are averaging one of the lowest assist totals against Detroit, which says a lot. It means rival offenses aren't executing comfortably. They're improvising under pressure. If you focus only on conventional box score rankings, Detroit's success looks odd. They commit turnovers, their opponent three-point percentage is middling, and they don't scream offensive dominance. But the overall picture reveals a team with a near-elite defense, excellent rebounding, and a pace that physically wears teams down. These are the ingredients of a contender, especially when you have an all-star caliber floor leader and a forceful interior presence. And that floor leader is Cade Cunningham. He's quietly staking a claim as one of the league's premier guards, a player who blends elite decision-making with a scorer's toolkit. Cade's growth hasn't been flashy in the overnight superstar sense. It's been steady, methodical, and relentlessly effective. After being drafted first overall, he endured the franchise's worst era and could have chosen any number of self-preserving paths. Instead, he doubled down. He stayed, developed, and led. The results are impossible to ignore. Cade's numbers have climbed: points, rebounds, assists. But it's the context of those numbers that truly matters. He's operating like a seasoned general, controlling tempo, making the right reads, and converting high-pressure opportunities when it counts most. He led the team through a historic stretch, including a period where he recorded consecutive 25-plus point, 10-plus assist games. A franchise first. Those aren't flukes. They're evidence of a player who can carry a team through tight stretches and flip games with a single sequence. What makes him special is the variety of ways he can hurt you. One possession, he's orchestrating the offense, threading a needle pass for a layup or corner three. The next, he's attacking downhill, using patience and craft to finish through contact or create for others. He's become one of the league leaders in drives and fast break points, and his ability to blend playmaking with scoring creates constant dilemmas for defenses. Teams will double, trap, or shade to try and take him away. And more often than not, he finds a backdoor, a seam, or a teammate ready to cash in. Cade's evolution into a fourth quarter closer is another major leap. He tops the league in late game scoring, consistently producing in the most decisive moments. That composure under pressure is rare and valuable. It's the kind of trait that turns regular seasons into real championship runs. When the clock winds down, Cade plays as if he's been there 100 times. He doesn't panic. He executes, and his teammates believe in him. Yet no guard thrives in isolation. Cade's excellence is magnified by the presence of Jalen Duren, a 22-year-old center morphing into one of the NBA's most imposing interior forces. Duren's rise this season is about power and efficiency. He's converting at an elite clip, dominating the paint, and regularly finishing through contact. His transformation from a young prospect into a nightly double-double threat has changed how opponents attack Detroit. They can't simply sag off and clutter the lane. Duren draws attention and cashes in. Statistically, Duren Durant's per-minute production and points in the paint place him among the NBA's most dangerous interior scorers. He's excellent as a roll man, converting pick-and-roll opportunities at near-elite rates and consistently finishing high-value plays. His offensive rebounds become immediate second-chance points. On defense, he's equally disruptive, contesting shots, altering attempts at the rim, and using his strength to make life difficult for opposing bigs. That two-way presence is the backbone that gives Detroit both stability and intimidation. The chemistry between Cunningham and Durant is the sort of partnership teams dream about. Cade's understanding of angles, timing, and reads pairs perfectly with Durant's ability to catch, finish, and dominate the glass. The pick and roll isn't just an option for Detroit, it's the engine of their offense. Durant sets hard screens, rolls decisively, and finishes lobs with authority. Cade uses the threat of Durant to collapse defenses, which opens kickouts, corner threes, and uncontested drives. The synergy has produced a league-high number of assisted slams from their pairing and created spacing that benefits role players around them. But beyond numbers and plays, what's most striking is the culture change. Detroit's roster now features players who buy into the grind. Versatile defenders like Ausar Thompson bring energy and length. Shooters stretch the defense. Veterans stabilize late-game situations. The bench blends athleticism with shooting, giving the starters room to rest without the wheels falling off. The coaching staff has drilled discipline into the group, close rotation, strict rebounding, and a heavy emphasis on finishing possessions. This team is built for the postseason. Slow the tempo, tighten the spaces, and the Pistons' brand of controlled physicality becomes even more dangerous. Cade's late-game instincts and Durant's dominance at the rim will be magnified when teams can't rely on transition or quick resets. That's where contenders are made. There are still areas to clean up. Turnovers need addressing, and consistent perimeter shooting would make them even scarier. But those flaws are fixable and don't undermine the broader truth. The Pistons are no longer rebuilding. They're contending. They play with conviction. They defend as a unit. And they have two cornerstone talents capable of altering the direction of games. If you're tracking the league, you can't ignore Detroit. They've rewritten expectations and put every opponent on notice. Cade Cunningham has evolved into a top-tier floor general, and Jalen Duren has become a force you must account for every time down the court. Together, they've created a matchup problem that's only going to become harder to solve. So ask yourself, who's going to stop them? This squad is putting the league on notice, and the season ahead looks like one long warning siren for anyone who underestimated Detroit. If you want a team built for playoff warfare, one that grinds, executes, and has the stars to finish, look no further. The Pistons are back, and they're getting better every game. If this breakdown resonated, drop a comment and tell me what you think. Is Detroit a true contender, or will their early surge hit a wall? Check out the next video for more deep dives into teams reshaping the league, and keep watching because this story in Detroit is far from over.